Good evening. We will call the meeting of the Public Safety Committee for the City of Hudson in order on February 8th. If we could have a roll call, please.
Alderperson Hall.
Here.
Alderperson Morissette.
Here.
Alderperson Wakefield.
Here.
So under item 3, public comments. If you have any public comments, please come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, if there are any, for any agenda item that, or any item that's not on the agenda. Guess no one is, well, I think we're good. So we'll move on to number 4. Approval of the January 11th regular meeting minutes.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any discussion? Seeing none? All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, new business. 2024 FITASC World Championships. If you want to come to the podium, state your name and address for the record, and we will discuss your item.
Sure. Name is Patrick McLarnon, McLarnon. I live here in Hudson at 812 Heritage Court. And here today to talk about, so it's called FITASC. We've got a really exciting event coming here at the end of June up at Game Unlimited. Would you like me to just give the 2-minute spiel? Okay. So in early 2022, Game Unlimited bid for World Championships to hold this game called FITASC. It's one of the clay target sport disciplines, so I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with trap and skeet that you've seen at the Olympics. Game Unlimited up northeast of Burkhart, we shoot sporting clays. FITASC is a discipline of sporting clays. We competed against 5 other clubs in the United States to win the 2024 World Championships. The previous three championships have been in Europe, so in Hungary, Italy, and France. So a pretty prestigious event. As part of this event, it maxes out at 1,000 or 1,150 shooters, so 1,150 shooters. Right now we have about 1,000 shooters registered. We anticipate filling it up. Of those shooters, about 60% are domestic. 40% are going to be foreign, mostly coming from Europe, but there's going to be currently 23 different countries are signed up. So we've got a pretty good contingent coming here. As part of the event, we have to hold an opening ceremony, so think the Olympics. So about half a dozen of the countries will send their national teams, so they have basically people compete locally, become a member of the national team, and then the national team will come, then essentially parade in their uniforms holding a flag, national anthem playing, and we want to do this down at the band shell. So our idea essentially is to be about a 2-hour event plus or minus. There'll be some speakers at the beginning. The national teams will parade in. There'll be some more speakers. Speaking stuff's pretty short. The parade part will be about an hour, hour and a half to do the national anthem piece. Also at the event is packet pickup. So the shooters will pick up their shooting number, their shooting schedule. And the event would be held on Wednesday evening, which is June 26th. The actual shooting event itself at Game Unlimited is a 4-day event, which is held Thursday through Sunday. I think the other kind of highlights of the event, we did plan on having food catered in, hors d'oeuvre style from local restaurants. So Bennett's, Pier 500, San Pedro's be contributing to that. We plan on having a Booster Days, got just a small beer truck or a trailer essentially. As part of that, we did talk to the city staff, and it'll be the competitors will be given a wristband denoting that they're part of this, because it's going to be given out to free. The event will be just open to the public. We didn't plan on closing anything off. So anybody receiving food and or alcohol will have an armband. At the end of the event, it'll be the packet pickup, and then we've also got the 2 river cruise boats booked, so they hold 500-600 people, so those will be fully booked out. People will go through that. As far as the event, we don't anticipate everybody will turn up to the event. It'll kind of maybe be some people trickling through to grab their sign-up packets, and then they're just going to leave. We think maybe the event itself might get 600 people kind of staying through the whole thing, but you might get the full 1,000 people getting there over a multi-hour period. I think that's probably about it. We'll have some tents down there, seating down there. Sound system will be very minimal, just to play national anthem and speeches. I think that's it. Any questions?
Yeah, parking is a concern. We don't have a lot. Is it just fend for yourself is what you're doing with
Yep.
your folks? And
That's what
then,
we planned on.
okay. Logistically, that could be a pretty good nightmare. If you have as many participants coming in as you hope, and I hope you do. I think it's a neat event. And it's going to draw a lot of tourism dollars to our city, so that's a good thing. No guns allowed in the park?
Correct, yeah, nobody would have that stuff with them.
Okay,
Yep, and when it's guns, it's shotguns, it's not.
right.
Yeah, yep.
Any concerns, chiefs?
None.
No?
Do you plan to have a shuttle bus or something for parking?
We hadn't thought about that, but that's certainly something we can look at. I mean, where would we shuttle to, I guess, might be a question.
Any of the bigger businesses, maybe a local church, the high school, asking them if you could shuttle back and forth?
Yeah, we can
Cars.
certainly look at that.
Couple ideas there.
Yeah, I was gonna say the, Go for the Badger uses the Grandview Park to shuttle their runners. Basically, they all park their cars up there and then get shuttled to the start, which is over in Minnesota, and then at the end of the race, which ends in downtown Hudson, they get shuttled back up to their cars.
Okay,
But all I'm trying to say is it's happened here in the past before, where people would use the shuttle service to get people in and out of downtown a little easier.
okay. How many parking spots are available downtown, plus, minus?
300 to 400
And that's a Wednesday night, correct?
Wednesday night,
So
yeah.
that might help a bit.
in the middle of summer.
Oh, no, never mind. Yeah.
Yeah.
All depends if it's a nice day out or not, yeah.
Yeah,
Hopefully it would be. I would look into that, and so, just be in contact with the chief here, and maybe you can work something out.
Okay.
Just helps your both sides.
Yeah, yep, for sure.
So, I'll move we approve the event.
I'll second.
Any further discussion or concerns? Just be in touch with chief on maybe the shuttle service for the parking issue, and if there is no, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? We'll recommend approval to council at our next meeting, which will be
19.
February 19th.
Is that something you want me to attend?
You might, questions might come up.
Okay,
If you can't, you can't. I don't foresee a problem, but I'm one person.
okay. Might not be me, but it might be someone else. I
Okay,
think I'm trying.
just so they can answer questions,
Yeah,
that'd be great.
no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Did we vote? Ah, okay. I'm getting old. All right, 3B, Gopher to Badger Half Marathon. And this is a annual thing. We have a representative here today. State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Stacy Eink. I live in the Stillwater area in Baytown Township, and I am essentially the race director for Run Stillwater, which produces the event.
Any questions? Were there any concerns in the past?
This has been a long-standing thing here, and we've never had any issues.
Yay, we love to hear that. We do,
Makes things easier.
yeah.
The shuttle has worked out well?
Yes, actually, the shuttle has worked out great.
Good.
So I think it's all a matter of making sure that you have plenty of buses so nobody is waiting anywhere.
Move to approve.
I'll second.
Any further discussion or concerns? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
February 19th, we will have it on the city agenda, council agenda.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good night. Number 6A, informational items, discussion of future IT needs for the police department. Boy, it's not enough to give you a whole new building, but now you want all that.
Well, and that is part of it, right?
Right.
And this is just to start the discussion, that
Yeah.
it's a need that we have. CIT is great for general city operations, for Drew and I.
Well, I would challenge that as well, because we've had to deal with, I don't know if council members have, others
But
than me.
the police department is responsible for about 80 to 85% of all the help desk tickets. We have one person that comes to town from CIT to go hands-on with stuff. every week, 1 day a week. So we have things that are waiting in limbo for 3 weeks before they get fixed. And these are squads out of service,
Yeah.
desktop computers that are out of service. And we, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, we need these electronic devices to do our jobs effectively.
Yeah, and shame on us for not getting this to you sooner, because it helps you do your job better. There are consequences for all of the safety apparatus.
There are, and I understand budgetary concerns and things like that that the city might have about hiring the amount of IT staff that they would need to run the entire city. So I just wanted to start the discussion. I've had conversations with Drew about some of the troubles that he's experienced. Obviously, the troubles that we've experienced, and this is not a dig on CIT in any way, shape, or form. It's just the sheer volume of what we have. Having someone on site 40 hours a week would alleviate a lot of our issues.
Well, I think we heard Brian was down there all the time, working on something or another, in the in-squad cameras or the computers.
Well, and that's just it. And now we have the flock things, and we have the flock cameras, we have the traffic cameras. I mean, we continue to add technology that none of us have the skill or know-how or time to deal with when something breaks down. So I just want to start the discussion that when you see the budget proposals for 2025, you will very likely see a position.
I guess I wouldn't,
Getting started really early.
I would caution
It's
just.
part of my role, right?
For you to understand that it may end up just being the way it was with 2 IT people for the whole city, not just dedicated to the police department, depending on how
I
it
get it.
flushes out.
I
Would
get
that
it.
be something you could share with that IT person with other, or would it be solely for the police department?
Well, the proposal would be pretty much solely for public safety, for the one person
Okay,
initially.
so like fire could, do you need,
We don't need it as much as PD does, but I mean, everything we do is on a tablet, on a computer. It's right. I mean, that's the world we live in now. You
you
know,
can tie that in a little, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
and
we
that's-
definitely our demand isn't as high as theirs, but there is times, and it gets frustrating. I mean, when it takes weeks and weeks and weeks to.
Yeah.
And I understand it's their contractual services, and it's what they can allot to the city. But when my administrative assistant is trying to set up iPads because she's the only one that has the time to do it, it's not. Now it's taken away from her time. To set up iPads to go in the trucks and get everything mounted, and it's it's just one of those things. It's just not really appropriate use of staff necessarily.
So how does the county do it? Do they have an IT
They
person?
have like 15 IT people. You don't want
Bad
to.
example.
You don't want to bring that one up. They have a lot of IT people.
Would that be something that we could contract with the county?
Well, I doubt they would.
I don't know. I don't know that the relationship is there. To be
Okay,
frank.
yeah, okay. What about River Falls? How are they handling things?
Well, River Falls actually has a retired police sergeant that retired 15 years ago. Went to school for IT, and he is the police department's IT person.
So I guess to me, that wouldn't solve the problem, because his priority would be River Falls PD and not ours. And
No, I'm just wondering how other departments are handling this.
I'd want it dedicated, and if it's three of the public safety, it's a little easier on the
I
budget.
think so too.
Yeah, it's a mix match. To answer your question, Joyce, there are smaller agencies, smaller communities that do the CIT type contract for services. Most medium-sized agencies have dedicated IT personnel. Usually one is dedicated to public safety, one is dedicated to the rest of the city. Obviously, the bigger you get, the more IT personnel you have to share around.
Would there be enough work to keep one person busy full-time?
Yes.
Okay.
It's
Then that's
almost
what we
been-
need to
we've-
know.
We've had an employee that's been out on medical for a significant amount of time doing light duty stuff, and if we didn't have him,
Mm-hmm.
we wouldn't get any of this stuff accomplished, because he's the one that sits there on the phone with CIT for 8 hours to log into a computer to make sure that CIT has remote access to be able to work on
Oh, my goodness.
it.
Okay.
So, I mean, if he wasn't there and available to us, we'd have to have an officer sitting there during his entire shift just trying to fix a computer. It's just not an efficient use of our resources or time.
So is there something that we could do to expedite this so that we could get this started sooner than
I don't think there's
2025?
anything really in the budget right now, but that's
Right,
why I said
there's a
I
problem.
wanted to start the conversation so that nobody was surprised, and maybe if you had plenty of times to ask questions or get stats or whatever you guys needed, that I could provide to you to show the importance of it, by the time budget time rolls around in 10 months from now.
You know what, though, we are not paying any IT right now except for the contract for SIT, so there may be some monies available from the salaries that are not being taken.
Why don't you check into that, Jeff?
So it could also go, and bring it to finance, kick around. And I'm not promising anything, but
I
it's
know.
a start.
But yeah, hey, we find any avenue we might have. What would the annual salary be for somebody in that
I
position?
have no idea. We'd have to consult that study.
Okay,
I wouldn't be able to guess accurately to that.
okay. I guess that would be the next question to be answered, would be how much would you need to budget?
Well, we can certainly keep the foot on the gas with this and, flush
I mean,
it out.
if this is-
Because it is.
This is a current need.
It's liability, the risk we're taking.
It is, and to speak to your comments about Brian spending a lot of time at the police department when he was here, it's true. But he couldn't dedicate all his time down there. So
Right.
we still had several weeks that would go by without issues being resolved because he didn't have the time by himself either.
Yeah.
To go to the water department or come to city hall, or Public Works had a server that needed to be installed, right? I mean, that takes,
Well, the
I get it.
technology opponent, part is so essential to your,
it is absolutely everything. We can't generate citations, we can't generate court documents, we can't do anything in our RMS without
absolutely,
Completely paperless.
yeah.
so.
All electronic.
You saw at the last meeting, a couple days ago, I was asking for computer upgrades. Well, that was just laptops for the squad cars. There's gonna be another one coming with upgrades to desktops and generally those things are on a replacement schedule, but none of them were bought the same, none of them were bought with enough RAM and processing speed to operate the systems that we operate, so.
Did we include warranties or?
Yes, they're all warranties. So you're gonna be seeing another list coming through, and those are for the actual station, right?
We budgeted for those, right?
We did not,
Oh, so this is a new, okay.
so it might be asking to take it out of some of our donation funds to pay for some of this. I don't know what the overall city IT budget is, because I believe the city has a IT budget that they do upgrades and replacements of city computers and things with.
Sure.
I just don't have that information yet, but for the next meeting, I'll know where that money's gonna
Okay.
come from.
Good. Oh, good conversation. I'm glad you brought it up.
And I just, like I said, it's, I know it's early, but I want to start having those conversations so that it doesn't get left behind, because it is a need.
Okay.
You need to have the things that are necessary to do the job. There's no question about that.
But that's all, that's why I put it on the
Okay.
information.
All right, thank you. We'll keep it going then. Number 7A, police reports and updates, EMS. Well, actually, let's go to, back up, EMS update, sorry. John?
All right, a couple of things that I have, maybe just kind of to get on your guys' radar. It kind of took me by surprise, but about a year and a half ago or 2 years ago, the state of Wisconsin did a pretty extensive research slash survey on EMS systems throughout the state. And the idea of that was because of the financial problems
John, grab your mic.
that they were seeing throughout the state with EMS services. So they did this survey, and the result of the survey came back that EMS in the state of Wisconsin is in crisis mode due to lack of funding, lack of reimbursements, and lack of personnel to run in the EMS system. So somewhere along the line, because of that report, and every state's doing it. We've done the same report in Minnesota. The federal government's doing the same type of report. And we all hope in the end that that's going to increase the reimbursement that EMS gets. Because right now, we average about 38 cents on the dollar of what we bill. That doesn't cover the cost to provide the service. So the state of Wisconsin was moving forward with a plan to get additional funding towards EMS. And I guess 2 weeks ago, I found out that that plan only includes private or public and municipal services. And the private and nonprofit services in the state of Wisconsin, which encompasses about 26% of the ambulance services in Wisconsin, are going to be taxed 6% tax on their net revenue that they bill annually, and they'll disperse that money to the public entities. So that we had to complete that report and send in our financial data to the state by Tuesday of this week. So we completed that. Some of the people that I talk to in the industry say it's going to be a good thing in the end. Somehow we're going to get money back. But there is nothing written. I attended the webinars that the state had. I asked the question. My concern is services were going to just bill the end user for that. Well, it's illegal. You can't do that. They're not going to allow that at the state level. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of that, I think it's really unfortunate that we're taking a hit. We're in just as much financial dire straits as everyone else because we all get the same reimbursement. No one gets better than anyone else. But we're going to take the hit for it. So somewhere along the line, they're saying eventually we'll get reimbursed. But the dollar amount that we're going to pay in, I don't know how they're going to pay us back that kind of money. So it's kind of crazy how we thought we were going to get money back and then we're paying in. Anyways, it is what it is. Just some departmental updates. We have officially made a job offer for our operations supervisor. The job offer and the offer was accepted by Nick Barrett. Nick's been with our department for 16 years. He's our leader of our SWAT medic program. Very knowledgeable in the business, and I'm looking forward to getting him going. So he'll start officially full-time in his role on February 19th, I think it is. But he's working now when he's not on shift. So I'll get him here to introduce him to you guys so you can get a
You've
chance to
brought
meet
him in
him.
before, I believe.
That was Matt Canifax.
Who was
So-
for the SWAT?
No, I don't think Nick's ever been here. Bridget was with SWAT.
Oh, I know Bridget was here. Okay,
So,
well, never mind.
yeah. I don't think Nick's been here. Staffing-wise, we're doing good. We're at full staff. Obviously, we'll need to replace Nick's position, which that requisition will go in this week. I think other than that, our vehicles, we're still in the same situation I've been in every month. We're waiting for our trucks. So we're being told May we'll have the 2 new trucks that have been on order for a couple of years. We desperately need them. We're constantly having trucks break down and just can't keep up with it. For data, I think I said last month when I was here that all the national data system that all states submit their EMS data into, there was a major upgrade to that system that required us to do a ton of work prior to pulling the switch on that, because a lot of things were going to change. The verbiage of data that's being collected changes, and that's all driven by the federal government and their national database system. So we did that. On January 1st, we switched over to the new system, and then there was tons of errors with that. So we can't run reports the way we used to, and a lot of it has to do with they changed names of things. So a lot of the criteria that we have in our report builder doesn't match the new system. So we're working through that. What I'm saying is I don't have data from January 1st to today, but I have everything from last year. So I'll just give you a quick breakdown of what we did last year in the city of Hudson. Total calls that we responded to in the city of Hudson was 1,624. Of that, 1,175 required lights and siren response. With those lights and siren response, our 90th percentile response was 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Our average was 3 minutes. There's 449 calls that either were downgraded to no lights and sirens, or the initial response was no lights and sirens. Of that total that we did just in the city of Hudson, there was 809 transports. And there's other reasons in there that people weren't transported, but 86 of that total number, we were canceled or there was no patient contact. And then Hudson Hospital transfers, we did 827, which isn't part of that total I gave you before. So if you add the 827 and 1624, that's what we did out of the city of Hudson. That's kind of all I got.
Has the
No,
county
any
got their new
questions?
system set up?
It's not up and running yet, but we've been invoiced for our share of it, so
Of course,
it's close.
of course.
Huh?
Just a few more things to, why isn't it up and running yet? Just,
I don't know. I'm not even gonna ask. I mean, it's very complex what they had to do. I mean, it's taken them a year to do it, and we knew it was gonna take that long. But Terry tells me they're really close to getting it up and running, so.
okay. Any other questions? All right.
Thank
Chief Drew, Fire Department, and go ahead and then you can do 7B too with that.
Yeah, I don't have anything official tonight. I had hoped to have our year-end report, year-end summary done. We're in the middle of cutting over to new RMS system, records management. We tried to bring some legacy data over, which corrupted our current data, so we're scrubbing everything through to make sure the numbers are accurate. So we're close. That's what I've been working on this week. So I hope, well, I know for sure by March that the annual report will be done. So the biggest part you're going to see in that is our call volume was up 20% last year. We were well over 600 calls for service. So there's definitely a need there to start looking, probably do a staffing study at some point. I don't know how long. In the near future, we can continue to operate the way we're operating, but I don't know for how long before that tipping point's the pendulum will swing the other way. Calls for service, 49 calls in January. We're over 60. We're at 60 right now for the year, so we haven't slowed down. We're keep right on cruising. I think that's about it, other than what Jeff had talked about, possibly piggybacking in on the IT side of things. But
Is there a dusty folder somewhere with the plan for staffing that you could,
I don't believe there's ever been a study done.
okay, so you're starting from scratch?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. From my knowledge, I can't find anything. Nobody has any knowledge of any study ever being done.
It's probably about time to start.
It is. I know Lake Elmo just went through it. Bayport just went through it. Lower St. Croix Valley is going through it right now, right? So as you look at that population shift moving this way, everybody's having to start to do it, right? It's just becoming the norm. Just to find out where you sit. And if they say, you know what, the way we're running is good for 10 years, then good.
Right.
I don't believe that's going to be the case, but it's always good to get an independent review, of your situation, so.
Have you seen copies of any of the studies that the surrounding area?
I've seen Lake Elmo's, they actually went from a paid-on-call fire department to full career that was the recommendation from their staffing study. Bayports, I have not seen, but they are going to get their first full-time chief in '25 and work towards some type of full-time staffing at some point, a skeleton type thing. So I haven't seen their specific reports. I mean, I've seen reports from other places. And then I'll be bringing forward here coming up, I'll be looking to hire some more members. We're at, I guess, what you would consider full staffing, but our average age of our membership is 46, which is about 12 years older than the national average. So it's not a young person's job to be doing what we're doing, and I have some extremely dedicated members that are probably closer to 70 than they are 50, right? And the guys do a fantastic job, but they're not my interior firefighters anymore. They drive the trucks and run the pumps, and I need that younger staff on the bottom to do that. So I'll be, looking to get approval to go out and hopefully find able-bodied people willing to do this. So it's coming. So I'm thinking late spring, early summer for hiring process, so I can get them into school in the fall to get them trained. So,
Okay.
But just to give you a heads up.
All right, thank you.
As far as a very mild winter, are the calls up for January? I mean, without having the slippery roads, things like that, do you think they're up from last year?
Yes, so this has been the busiest
Even
January we've
with-
had in history. So
Even with a mild winter with
Yep.
roads and all that? Up
So
from,
Karen went back and looked the last 5 years, the busiest January we had in the last 5 years was 27 calls.
we're
and we
at
doubled it.
49.
Oh, my goodness.
Doubled it this year, yep. And I always tell everybody, when nobody knows when the public, and nobody else in the public knows what to do with a problem, right? They call the fire department. And a perfect example is, in January, we rescued a dog off a roof with police at an apartment building. We had a heat line break in an apartment building, they couldn't get a hold of management, so they called the fire department, right? We went over and helped them turn their water off in their unit. I mean, it flooded the apartment. So it's just, when people don't know what to do, they call police, they call fire, they don't, right? We're the last stopgap before chaos, really. So, and that's,
That's a
That's-
significant increase, especially with,
nothing's been
Not
weather
snowing,
related.
and- yeah.
It's all been, oddly enough, which is not a surprise, nobody can drive in this area. I mean, we were on I-94 51 times last year. So, a lot of car accidents.
And we've had multiple days where we've had, 3 and 4 calls at a time over here. So
Yeah.
it's busy.
Yeah.
It's not slowing down.
It's an increase in population, and it's just, it's pushing out. It's coming, so.
All right, thank you. Jeff, and the police department updates.
No big updates. Melanie attached the call sheet for January in the packet.
Okay.
We're busy too, just like everybody else. No real updates.
Are you full staff?
Yeah, yep. On paper, we're full staff. We just have the one out on light duty.
Okay. Any questions, concerns? All right, communications items for our future agenda. Are there any? I will double check about the, where we're at with traffic calming policy. Try to
Yeah.
bring that back, so.
I
So-
believe that is scheduled to go to public safety or public works this month.
Okay, that's fine, and then come back to us in March, or something like that.
I'll keep in touch with Aaron.
Okay,
I'll bring it back when it's ready to go.
sounds good. Any other business before the safety committee?
Wait, the traffic calming policy went to Public Works last month.
No, I just basing that off an email that she sent to a constituent, hoping to bring it to public works this month.
I think there were some changes they were talking about possibly when they
Oh,
were
so they need to bring it
I
back.
think they need to bring it back to look at those.
Okay,
And then it'll come back here so that you can see the changes.
okay. Well, we're getting close.
Progress.
All right, seeing no other business,
Move to adjourn.
Second?
and this meeting stands adjourned. Thank you.